And we're back with segment 3, and Christie's agreed to stick around and answer some questions on bankruptcy.
Okay.
So we did this a couple of weeks ago with Doug, and a little rapid fire. I've got a bunch of questions from our viewers, and now they can submit by mobile text, cell phone, website, toll-free line, Facebook, and on demand.
No excuses for not finding us.
There is no way not to find us. The only place you can't find us is a post office wall.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
You're right.
Okay, our first question is from Stacy in Lincoln. Wants to know, what do I wear to my bankruptcy hearing?
Yeah, what I tell people is dress like you were going to work or going to church. Just something nice. They don't like shorts. No T-shirts with words written. Collared shirt. Ladies' skirt or slacks. And men, certainly a shirt with a collar and pants of some sort. You don't have to wear a suit and tie. You look nice, but you wouldn't have to wear that to a bankruptcy meeting.
Probably leave the Rolex at home.
The Rolex that would be identified in your bankruptcy petition, yes, you might leave that. You certainly don't have to dress up.
Okay. Our next one's from Franklin of Savannah. If you cannot pay a judgment against you, is it better to file bankruptcy?
It would be an option that you would want to consider, because if a creditor gets a judgment against you, then the next thing that they can do is start garnishing your wages, and they can take up to 25% of your paycheck, every paycheck.
Okay. Jessica of Tybee Island. Can the primary borrower continue paying a car loan if the cosigner files Chapter 7 bankruptcy?
Yes. If you've got two people on a note on a vehicle, that creditor is concerned with one thing, and that's getting those payments every month. So if your co-borrower files bankruptcy and you want to keep that car and keep paying for it, then it would be protected. Now, most likely that title would be in both your names, so you'd have to get with that co-borrower and say, okay, I'm going to keep paying for it, and you're going to sign over the title. Or maybe at that point in time, they could sign a power of attorney that would allow you to put the title in your name once it was paid for and you got that title back.
Okay. Rudy the Brick Mason. Can you protect your trade tools if you file bankruptcy?
There is a section in the Georgia Code that allows exemptions for tools of the trade. So yes.
Cement mixers,
of course, it depends on the value and how much, but there is a section that allows for tools of the trade.
Okay. Maggie May of Bluffton. Rod Stewart song with her. Can you be made to pay a debt that's been written off already?
I have often seen companies charge off and then they float back up to the surface. So I think the short answer is yes. If they may have kind of put it on the back burner, but they can bring it back out.
So better to name them right away.
Absolutely. I tell people, anybody that could possibly allege that you owe them anything, even if you don't agree with it, let's put it in there.
Okay. John R. of Savannah. Can you claim funeral expenses on a bankruptcy?
If you owe expenses from a loved one's funeral, then in general that would fall in unsecured creditors. So yes.
They're not going to dig them back up.
You may have noticed a little hesitation in my voice. I would think not, but if it's to sell you a casket, absolutely they wouldn't dig a grave up. But yes, it would be unsecured. But I have had several clients who just said, this is something we really got to take care of, and usually it's in the name of the family anyhow. So, but the short answer is that yes, it would be an unsecured debt.
Okay. Missy of Rincon, if you came into some money, can you cancel your bankruptcy most of the way through it?
In general, you can dismiss your bankruptcy anytime you want. You won't get your discharge. It'll be a voluntary dismissal. But yes, often if your financial situation changes, people say, well, I'll just dismiss my bankruptcy and deal with my creditors outside. Okay.
Brian of Effingham, can your 401k retirement account be seized in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy?
Short answer, no. Of course, if you've got $2 million in a retirement account, they may say, well, that's not necessary. But your average retirement account is exempt or off limits.
Now, would that count for like all the different kinds, like a Roth or a Kehoe?
If it's a retirement account, and simple terms, the best way is, will you get penalized for early withdrawal? If the answer is yes, then most likely it will fall under that umbrella for retirement accounts. Stocks, bonds, CDs are not retirement accounts.
Okay.
That's like cash in the bank.
Now, what if they're in the name of an IRA? It doesn't matter?
If it's in an IRA, yes, and would have that early withdrawal penalty, then in general, then that would be exempt, which means it didn't count and it would not be seized. It wouldn't have any effect on your bankruptcy.
Okay, if you knew you were going to go bankrupt, can you transfer things into those kind of vehicles? And if so, how long beforehand?
A section of your bankruptcy petition is the Statement of Financial Affairs that asks you about transfers that can go back as long as 10 years.
Wow.
So they look for transfers made in anticipation of filing, and that can be a problem.
No playing fast and loose.
No, and it is certainly the best policy is if you're not sure about something like that, talk with your bankruptcy lawyer about it.
Okay. Rebecca of the West Side, how long can a trustee hold your bankruptcy open?
Well, most Chapter 13 plans last from 3 to 5 years. Chapter 7, it can stay open as long as the trustee needs to hold it open. If there are some assets that the trustee may be selling, then it may stay open until they're sold. So it just depends. Most Chapter 7 cases are over in about 6 to 8 months. It's not that long.
Okay. Next is Harold and Mildred. Will it be hard to obtain a home loan after filing for bankruptcy?
It will be more difficult to get credit, yes. However, most people that come to see me about bankruptcy, their credit's already shot because they've already been late on payments. They may have gotten a repossession. So, a lot of people, it doesn't affect your credit rating anymore.
Can't go down.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I love this next guy, Warren G. of Hardyville. He's almost a president. How long must you wait to start a new job while in the bankruptcy profiling process? I don't understand that.
A new job, bankruptcy in general doesn't affect your employment. Now, if your income changes, then you submit a new budget in your plan. So you're free to change jobs, get a new job, get a second job, do whatever you want to in bankruptcy.
So if you're going for a Chapter 7, you get a great new job, and the judge says, well, you can afford this now.
Then it may be that you convert to Chapter 13. A lot of people they come to me and say, oh gosh, especially if you do Chapter 13, it can last up to 5 years. I'm not going to be able to do anything. It's really not that bad. The main thing is just if there's anything significant, I tell people before you do anything major, get a job, change jobs, sell a house, buy a car, call us, run it by us. There may be some paperwork we need to do, and we'll get it done.
Okay. Francis of Skidaway, if the wife files for Chapter 7 and the husband is not listed on any of her accounts and was unaware of her debts, can he be liable for any of her bills?
If the husband is not a co-debtor on her bills,
right,
then no. Fortunately, we are not responsible for spouses' debts. Children, yes, but not spouses. So if he was not, for example, if wife had a credit card and husband's name was not on it, then husband cannot be held responsible for wife's credit card.
Okay. Got about a minute left for the question. Connie of Savannah, formerly Kentucky, how long do you have to live in a state to claim bankruptcy there?
General residency requirements, I know for Georgia is 6 months, and it varies from state to state. So,
okay.
so the longer of the 6 months, and you'll be eligible to file.
So even though it's a federal law, you have to have been a state long enough to file?
Yes, jurisdiction is determined by states.
So if she moved here in 3 months when declared bankruptcy, she's got to head back to Kentucky.
No, it's kind of complicated, but the general rule is 6 months, or it could be the longer period of the 6 months. So like if you lived in Georgia for 4 months out of the 6, then you may qualify to file.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Christy. We've got some new features this year on Talking Law TV. I'd like to talk to you about real quickly. If you'll notice on our screen, we have the CC mark, which means our program is now closed caption for the hearing impaired. And if you have the equipment, then you can watch that anytime or turn it on your cable box. Next, I think you'll find we have some new technology available for our folks to better interact with our show and the lawyers on it. We have our website, talkinglawtv.com. Here's our opening page. This is our schedule where you can watch the show online 24/7. Learn more about our attorneys, and you can also text message the show through mobile websites. And we're also on MyTV now, Saturdays at noon. And we hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We'll be back next week. Good night.
Closed captioning services provided by the Web Advantage. Design, hosting, and multimedia solutions for businesses like yours. Produced by Tandem Productions. Distributed by Legal Eagle USA.